What is the thing that something has to have?
Wings.
Perfect. It's got to have wings. They levitate. They're not using lift. Winged lift. All right. So, but that's an excellent observation. Rockets don't have wings, but rockets do have stabilizers. All right. So another thing that has wings, of course, airplane. You've all been on airplanes, I assume. And when the airplane wings, when you're sitting on an airplane waiting to take off, is this the way an airplane takes off?
No. That would be
So it's not just wings. What does the airplane have to do? It's got to get moving, got to have speed. So it's not just wings, it's the air moving across the wings that makes it fly, right? Two important things. So let me show you a wing, and that's what attracted you in the first place. This is a real piece of a wing. This is a Cessna airplane wing, okay? And so, but it's a very good representative of a wing. Now, this wing, this is the bottom, this is the top. What can you tell me about the difference between the bottom and the top? Which one? The top is curved, absolutely. The Wright brothers, this is the Wright brothers' contribution. They came up with the right way of curving the top relative to the flat bottom. So remember though, it's not just the wing. The wing has to move forward through the air. All right? What does that do? Well, as it forces air to flow over the wing. Air is forced to either go over the top of the wing or the bottom of the wing. Only two choices, right? Either path that it takes, though, it's got to get from the front of the wing to the back of the wing at exactly the same time, right? Because the wing is moving through the air. All right, so now, if the air must go from the front of the wing to the back of the wing at exactly the same time, which path will it go faster? The longer curvy top or the shorter straight bottom? The top. It's got farther to go. It's got to go farther in the same time, so it's got to go faster. So the process in the act of moving a wing through the air, the wing forces the air to go fast over the top, slower over the bottom. Okay? Very important. So now I'm going to tell you something about fast and slow air. You don't have to believe me, I will prove it later. It turns out slow moving air pushes on the surface near it harder than fast moving air pushes on the surface near it. So what does that mean? It means that the slow moving air on the bottom of the wing pushes up hard, and the fast moving air over the top of the wing pushes down soft. Hard, soft. What does the wing do? The wing lifts up. I have to prove that to you though. So in order to prove it to you, we're going to conduct a no expenses spared experiment. This is the Smithsonian, of course. We spare no expense. So here's the experimental apparatus here. All right. Here you go. Here you go. Everybody can do this experiment. Okay. We have more if anybody would like. Here's the rules, though. I'm going to conduct two very short experiments. Me first, then you. Okay? First experiment. I'm going to blow, and I'm going to put the paper on top of my mouth when I blow. Now, like any good experiment, we have to predict the outcome. Okay? So, if I blow with the paper above my mouth, will the paper stay down or go up? Go up. Yep, give it a try. All right, we all confirm that was right. Good. Next experiment. Instead, I'm going to put the paper under my mouth. Now, after me. I'm going to put it under my mouth and blow. Will the paper stay down or go up? Oh.
Wait, what? Faster speed.
It goes up. Try it. Make sure I'm not doing anything flip-flammy here. Here. Hold it like this. Two hands. Put all that electronic stuff down. Okay. All right, it goes up. Why? Remember I said slow-moving air, and the bottom isn't moving at all. Slow-moving air pushes up harder than fast-moving air pushes down. So just the same way the fast air on top of the wing allows the wing to lift up, so too the paper lifts up. Okay? That's how a wing works. The Wright brothers figured this out. But how did they do that? They figured, all right, we want to make an airplane. Let's send away to the Smithsonian for a book on wings. The Smithsonian sent them a book on wings. They tried it. It didn't work. The book was wrong, which is why the people had a hard time making things fly. So they set up a wind tunnel in their light shop. And they experimented with wing shapes, and they came up with a good wing shape. Then they took the wing shapes and they put them into glider models, and they got the wing shapes to work. But the second thing is, when you're up in the air, you have to control the airplane. People up to that point didn't think about that. They got up into the air, and then they shifted their weight and waved their hands and prayed a little, and they hoped that it would, and they crashed. So the Wright brothers didn't want to do that. And the Wright banked the airplane. How do you bank it? They use wing warping. So watch my hands. My hands are the wings. They did this to the wings, and that caused the airplane to lift that way, and then they turned like this. So they were able to control their airplane by wing warping. So they went home and they made that airplane. These are models of the gliders. That is the real deal. That's the actual airplane that flew 103 years ago for the first time, powered flight. Controlled powered flight. That's a picture, an actual picture taken during the first flight. This is the airplane that's in that picture. They flew 4 times. They flew 4 times. The 4th time, it flew about 800 feet for a little less than a minute. They were ecstatic. They were controlling their airplane. They were up in the air for almost a minute, for crying out loud. And they sat down and they tied the plane up, went in for lunch to congratulate themselves and figure out what they're going to do after lunch. They came out. The wind had lifted the airplane up and smashed it against the ground, and it crashed. So they had to pack it up, bring it back home. This is the airplane that the Smithsonian unpacked and reconstructed it. This is the real stuff. It's been recovered with new material, of course. That's cotton muslin. It doesn't last 103 years. All right? The motor is not the original motor, but rather from a later Wright airplane, okay? But what I want you to do when you walk around this airplane, 2 things, please. Look at the end of the wing, and you'll see they're curved on top. Look at the end of the wings of every single airplane in this museum. You'll find it's curved on top, flat on the bottom. Why? Because the Wright brothers figured out how to make a wing. All right? The other thing that I want you to do, check out the Wright brother. He is not the original Wright brother. He is a reconstruction. Check him out. He's on a little platform, and when he does this with his waist, he warps the wings. So he was sitting there with 2 levers, wiggling his hips back and forth, and that's what allowed them to fly in a controlled fashion. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.